Okay, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm basically going to be talking about my life, my whole life experience, and I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. At 1 hour video, top. Because obviously condensing life into one video, it's tough. But I'm making this not only to keep it in record, but I might die. I might die one day. You know, I'll have this so my kids could hear everything I have to say. So this is the story of my life, and let's start in the very beginning. First of all, let's choose our avatar. Let's choose our avatar right here, my favorite avatar. Let's start in the beginning, when I was a kid. So when I was a little kid, the first thing you gotta understand is I was jumping from the USA to Puerto Rico all of my young childhood. I've been jumping from one side to another, and that affected me in school. I'll tell you what, that affected the way I learned how to read in English, and then I came back to Puerto Rico and everything was in Spanish, and then I started kind of like learning it, and then I went back to New York, and I was so confused on how to read and spell and everything in my young life because of that back and forth to different languages and spelling and everything and sounds. So as I grew up in a very abusive environment where my dad was a drunk and extremely violent. So yeah, typical 80s movie style life. So I had to deal with that violence as I grew up. Then my little sister eventually got born, and you know, things were rough. So the first thing we learned in life, me personally as a child, was to hide from my father. Second of all, after my mom decided to finally move away from his toxicness, you know, we learned that, well, let's hide in general from him. And that got to the point where, you know, the whole point we left is because we were already hiding from social services because of the violence. I guess we got reported. It was hard for me to understand when I was a little kid, but I understand now. The point is that hiding was a big thing in my life since the beginning. Then, as I was growing up, I loved gaming. I loved gaming since the first time I saw it with the Atari. I used to play a really old tank game. That I remember. I used to play a game about tanks and I found it amazing. It was an escape, really. It was an escape from reality. It was my first escape from reality, that tank game. And it was very basic. Back then Atari was so basic. And let's see, then so gaming became a thing in my life that I really loved from a young age. But considering the times, gaming was not seen as a good thing. Gaming was seen as, what the hell are you doing sitting here all day? You should be out there doing something. Which makes no sense, because back then all we would do was like vandalized and play with trash. And just be bored out there. You know, you have a whole bunch of kids bored outside. They're obviously gonna do bad things. So gaming in a very early age became something that my family, my mom and my grandma couldn't see me doing too much because they would frown upon it, you know? So let's hide gaming. Let's try to game as much as possible, but without anybody knowing it. You know, game at night and game when they're not at home or watching, and let's find out. So game became something to hide. Then as I was growing up, obviously I discovered porn. So that obviously, as my family old school female only house, that became something to hide as well. So that's, we're hiding gaming, we're hiding uh, these adult stuff as well, you know, and I'm sure it wasn't going to be easy for them to talk about these things with me because I was a boy, the only boy. So what else? Then I kept growing up to my teenage times, and I ended up hiding cigarettes. Let's hide cigarettes. You know, let's hide cigarettes. I was never big on liquor or drinking, but I got into cigarettes. So let's hide cigarettes. And slowly throughout my life and addictions of escaping from reality, really, we found drugs. And of course, weed was the beginning. And then everything shifted to, we really gotta hide. We really, really gotta hide from the world because there's nothing cool about running into a family member or someone from church when you're high as a kite. There's nothing fun about that. And the fact that you're so up there that you can't hide it, yeah, you know, that became a real, every time I would smoke, it would become a real threat to go out into public because you're gonna run into somebody. You're not gonna run into somebody. You are going to. Damn, I hit myself. You're going to run into somebody. And that, it started becoming more paranoid because that's what drugs mainly do. They make you paranoid as hell. So the paranoia of running into people and finding out that you're smoking or whatever, and the disgrace, whatever I thought back then. Um, it became a little overwhelming. So throughout the years, smoking and doing other stuff, which I'm not gonna mention, but let's just say weed was not my only habit in the past. And so my mind obviously started deteriorating. My mind started obviously deteriorating. And then eventually I reached the dark web era. That's what I'll call it. The dark web era. Where, oh snap, where, you know, I don't know how the hell it happened. I just stumbled into it or something. Internet was different back then. But somehow I ended up in this world where I had a rude awakening of how evil people could really be. You know, from the dark web is, there's a reason it's called the dark web. So entering that dimension basically really messed up my mind. It really did. It really did. And it broke the trust I had with people, if any. If any. So, oh, I messed up. Okay, good, good. So it broke the trust. Oh, it broke my reality. And using drugs was did not help either. So I, you know, it started affecting my life so bad where I became, you know, not only do I hide from family because I don't want them to know I'm using drugs, but uh, hide from people because I started to get so paranoid about everybody and not trust nobody. So eventually I got to the point where the paranoia to hide from people got really bad. It got really bad where it was affecting my life in every way. It was affecting my life in every way. So I eventually decided to go get help. Uh, you know, psychiatrist. Oh, mental health. The obvious first thing they tell me is you gotta stop using, you know, and that's easier said than done. And so I was classified as a paranoid schizophrenic, as paranoid schizophrenic. The paranoia to the point where, yes, the drugs were contributing on my paranoia because it's so, instead of just imagining things, since I visually saw so many things, they were so easy for me to imagine that I would have live visions of things I would be thinking of, and there will always be bad things. It will be like attacks of negative thoughts, basically. Like a negative, like the most negative thoughts you could possibly think of that could happen. And you see it in your head like it's real, and you start believing it. And it sucks. It really sucks, man. We, so without trust in people in general, being paranoid that things that are not real are happening when they're really not happening, all this really broke me apart. And I didn't want to drink pills because of how they made me feel, and I had to stop doing whatever I was doing drug wise as well. Everything was pretty rough. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with anything, and I was really trying. I was really trying, I'm telling you. So eventually I decided eventually I decided that I would get clean, get completely clean, get completely clean, and change my life. I decided to change my life, and it all started with doing the basic things. Like, where does a person that's lost go? We go to church. We try to go to church. We try to look for a good path. Stereotypical way of thinking, you know. So that's what we did. We went to church. We went to our psychiatry appointments. We stopped everything we were doing that would modify our consciousness. We started getting straight. Through the church, I gotta give them credit. Through the church, I learned that, everybody in the church needs help and they're all there looking for something. So they basically hold each other by the hands and help themselves go through it. Let's move forward together. And that's a big thing, it's important to, it's a big help. It really is a big help to have people help you move forward, and a lot of them they genuinely cared. They cared about helping the group. Let's move forward together, you know. And that's awesome. It really helped me a lot. I gotta admit, it helped me a lot. It gave me something to concentrate on, which was positive instead of negative. So the fact that everybody was so positive and so helpful in every way they can really helped me out to move forward to a point. To a point, because obviously religion has the tendency to create as religion has the tendency to create doubt as you go because of how highly questionable the Bible is in every single way. Like, so many things that don't make sense, so many things. So you start doubting, and doubting is not good. So I decided to do self-help. You know, I got as much as I can out from that, and now it's time to move to the next step, which is self-help. But yeah, I decided to look for self-help, and that was possibly that was possibly the best decision I ever made, you know. I started, you know, since the fact that I started questioning religion, the fact that I started questioning religion made me look for answers. And how do you find answers? You look, it's like I say, I say something now that if you want to know the story, you got to get all the puzzle pieces to put the whole puzzle together, and then you have the whole picture. You can't just have one puzzle piece and think you know the whole truth. So that's my journey started in that, and I explored so many religions, and then I started um meditating. I I learned how, this was the moment of my awakening phase basically. Started meditating, started dieting, started trying to keep as pure as I can through these teachings and trying to follow everything to reach the so-called enlightenment where you know you realize what you're supposed to realize. And deep meditation slowly but surely eventually, and learning about the chakras and how to cleanse them and how to keep harmony within the body, because you got to start in yourself before you go to, you can't, you got to start fixing yourself first before you try to fix the world around you. That's very important. So then I learned about the Kundalini energy, and eventually I realized one of the first things you realize that was is very important to move forward is that your greatest enemy is yourself. Your greatest enemy is yourself. The person who could harm you the most is yourself, the person who affects you. And that's something you learn throughout these teachings eventually, where you learn that you gotta, you know, that whole thing where people have a dark self. Well, it's very important. It's real. You gotta defeat your dark self. Your greatest enemy is your dark self. And to defeat that dark self is really something, because that's the person that's most dangerous to you is yourself. So I went through that phase. And I went through my whole awakening until I consider to this day that I found God, you know. And that to me was the greatest achievement of my human life. So at that point in my life, I can't tell you what God is, or but you gotta find it. You gotta go through your own journey. That's basically all I could tell you. You gotta go through your own journey and find your own truth. Eventually, when you reach, like I did, you're gonna realize that you're gonna have to go back to life, you know. And I did. I went back to life. I went back to life as a new me. There's a new me. It's a new me in this world, and you know, it was a big difference. It was a big difference because now I had power. I had the power to control my life, to control my who I am, to control the world around me. It was very important, and it truly changed me forever, that whole experience. And having the power to control every aspect of your life to a certain extent, obviously, but control in general, the power to have control it's really something that everybody needs, and they need to reach that point and realize that you have control over your life, especially over your actions. So now I gotta go back to life and put all this into practice. How do I apply this in my life, you know? So the first thing that comes is friends and family. When you go back to life, friends and family. So let's talk about friends and family. Let's talk about that. Friends and family, you know, it's reminders of the past. Friends and family. And like I said, since I was a little kid, I've been escaping from reality. Since I was a little kid, I've been trying to escape from reality one way or another. And gaming was the one thing that prevailed in my life. And I was never normal in the sense that I was never a regular boy. Never got into cars, sports, and all these what would be considered regular things in a boy's life. You know, the only thing I really got into was girls and video games. So the fact that I was different, I couldn't really socialize with other kids or whatever. Like, you know, like friends as an adult or as a kid, the things they do. Let's hang out at the basketball, playing basketball. It's boring. I want to go home and play games. You know, I want to go save the world, play Final Fantasy, do these things. I don't want to be here sweating and playing sports, competition, and all that. I don't even play sports games. The only sport game I play is Call of Duty, if anything. So, not a big fan of competition in general. So, I could never relate. You know, as an adult, they just want to hang out around cars and talk all day about boring stuff. And everybody seems to smoke weed, and I can't relate to that anymore. And it's just I can't. I don't fit in. Everything is boring as hell to me, to be honest. Everything they do, the things they find amusing, just hanging out all day doing what? Hanging around a car, working on mechanical stuff, and smoking. Every day is a party to drink. I don't drink. So it's very, in my case, it's very toxic for who I am in general, the way they are, and I just want to go home and game. I just want to go home since I was a little kid. I just want to go home and game. I don't really want to just be here doing nothing, boring as hell, you know? Either friends or family. I don't want to just be here in grandma's house, just doing nothing. You know, I understand grandma, we love her, this and that, but I just want to go home and keep playing my games. It's very exciting to me. So games really took over my life, to this day. Games is the thing where I could just go relax, it's my zen. Go relax and be there. So, let's see. So I can't relate with people, and throughout the years of my life, I learned that time, for some reason, time affects me so much. And either I'm working, or I'm in school, or whatever it is I'm doing with my friends, or wherever I am, time is always in my head, and it's always racing. I say if my greatest enemy is myself and time. I just can't get it out of my head. Time, and that's basically why we work. We trade our time for money because our time on earth is the most valuable thing that we have. So we're basically working, giving our time to a corporation or whatever job we worked in for money. That's the trade. We're trading time. So time for me has always been a big deal. It's always been a big deal. Time. It's not something I take lightly. So hanging around, talking nonsense, boring as hell. I don't even play with people because I'm even a solo gamer, mainly because people tend to waste a lot of time. To, they use gaming as a hangout. Let's hang out. I'm like, I'm not here to hang out. Let's do this mission. Let's get it done. Let's get this done. Let's play, man. Let's play. Take it serious. And I can't relate to the fact where they, no, let's just chill, man. We're here to hang out together. So you're bringing the real world into my gaming. Let's have an experience. Let's do this mission. Let's save the world. Let's do whatever, man. Let's not just do the boring things you do in regular life in a game. What's the point? Just hang out and talk? Like it was a virtual chat room. A virtual chat room. That's what we're doing. We're basically hanging out virtually to chat. And too many, if not all, my friends use gaming as a chat room. Like this is where we hang out and chat, basically. And it just happens to be interactive, but that's not what it is for. It's mainly to chat and hang out. Like no, like don't ruin gaming for me, man. Don't. And I'm in gaming and in real life. I like to keep moving forward. To me, keep moving forward, doing what's next, not staying at one. Oh snap! Not staying in one spot. You know, keep moving. Oh, I gotta break this cart. Did I break it? Damn it. Keep moving forward to the next scene. To the next scene. Time is of the essence. We gotta move. We can't get stuck. We can't get stuck. We gotta keep moving forward. And people like to get stuck. I don't know what it is, but they love to be in. Like, there's nothing more annoying than being in a game and having to wait for your friends forever because even though they're in the game, they will. Oh, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna just go smoke real quick. And you gotta wait until they toke it out. Just there. Just holding you hostage. That's the way I see it. You know, they're holding you hostage in the game. And I'm like, you know what? I probably would enjoy this game a lot more if I would be playing alone. Probably would have passed it by now. So, that's always been an issue for me. And obviously, that's not how you make. That's not how you keep friends with that way of thinking. I'll tell you that. Oh, damn it. So after I changed who I was, and I was a new me in this world once again, you know, it was all about moving forward. It was all about moving forward, leaving the past, and concentrate on making the everything better, making my life better, making everything better in general, you know? So leaving everything from the past behind was, you know, it's what I say. It's okay to visit the past, yes, but not live in it. Don't live in the past. And friends and family, a lot of people, that's what they do. They live in the past. They don't just visit the past. They want to live there. And that's just something that I cannot relate to. I'm done with living in the past, especially the fact that the present, it's so much better in my life than the past. So, ow. Moving forward is everything to me. You can't just stay stuck. That was a big problem I had to deal with. The people, friends, in general, especially new friends, the people, I always try to keep people away from me. Away from influencing my life, my thoughts, you know, and if I see they're getting too close, I got the typical habit of pushing them away. I have the typical habit of pushing them away. I've always, good friends, I've always told, our life at this moment is temporary. I love you, I care a lot about you, and that's possibly why I have to push you away because, you will affect my life. If I care about you, you will affect me. And I've always pushed away. I pushed away a lot of people that I care about, and at the same time, I don't. It's a negative and a positive thing because I always remember them for that moment. It won't have time to be ruined, or I won't ruin it myself with my habits of being a gamer and alone, and you know. So I'm very skeptical about making new friends. Very skeptical, and I don't like people influencing my life to the way they think. I don't like people influencing my life, trying to push me into their way of thinking. I like to basically keep pure, just like everything I eat, I like to have control over. I don't like just to let anybody in my life, even if especially if I care about them too much. So yeah, I try to keep every moment in the moment, you know. The only people that are permanent in my life are my wife and kids, and that the future, it's uncertain, you know. Especially the fact that my journey is gonna end just like it began, by myself. So yeah, that's just a way I live. Like, yes, I enjoy meeting new people and making new friendships. I enjoy. But is it gonna be a permanent part of my life? Probably not. I never let it happen. And I've met people that are so worthy of being a permanent part of my life. And they are, in a way. They are a permanent part of my life because they're in my thoughts. And we possibly make contact every few years. So moving forward, not only with the story, but with my friends and family. Family became a big issue. Family became a big issue because because social media, man. Social media. Family likes to critique and give their opinion, and friends and family, they want you to see the world how they see it. No matter what. They want you to see the world how they see it. And I'm like, "No. The hell with that." I see the world. I've learned. You should I went through all the trouble to learn and figure out the world, and you're showing me that you don't know anything, and you want me to see the world how you see it? No, I refuse. And friends and family are like that. They want you to see the world how they see it and live it in the way they live it. Like, live and let live, man. Live and let live. So, social media became a big problem with family especially. So I ended up erasing myself from social media, less and less and less interested in all the problems that people bring through social media. For what? Why do I need this? Why do I need this in my life? Just giving you an open window to come in my life and bring negative things. If you're not gonna bring anything positive to my life, you're out. I don't need you in my life, not even if we're blood related. I don't care. I don't need all this drama and all this nonsense in my life. So that's how eventually I ended up deleting the family from my life. I don't need you or your problems or the fact that you still live in the past, and you're you're an old person now and you still haven't found meaning in your life, and you're not going to listen to anybody that tries to help you, because helping starts out with yourself. You got to want to be helped. You got to move forward yourself. So there, so much for that, Not that I don't love them or care. It's just that I can't live carrying their problems. I really can't live carrying. There's no way for me to move forward if they're holding me back. And then, on the other hand, the biggest problem, because my friends always, to me, my friends has always been more family than family. Especially the fact that I had to hide so much from my family when I was all my life. I had to hide so much from them, and and my life with my family, like I said, started out really rocky. So my friends were a bigger issue because I really cared. I really, really did care about my friends. But my friends suffered from living in the past syndrome, where their golden era was in the past and they couldn't live in the present no matter what. And that sucks. They're the type of people that, they rather play retro games and live in 80s and 90s music era and movies and all this because that was the time. They rather think about and reminisce about the past and where we used to live and how the things we used to do and stuff instead of living in the present and seeing how life is now. Stop living in the past. And as the way I see the world about moving forward, time is of the essence, and my golden era is now, not the past. The fact that they stayed stuck in every way. There's a saying that I really relate to that says, "Don't, ooh, that get away from still niggas. Get away from still niggas." What do you mean still? Still living in the past, still making excuses, still being in the same, living in the same ways, not moving forward. And if you made so much progress in your life, you can't just, especially for me, it's not easy to, we could visit the past. We could visit the past, but we can't live there. Period. We can't live there. And the fact that they always want to recreate the past and they kind of like want to live there, like there's no way we're going to bring the past back, and I don't want to. The past was not as good as we think it was. It's all nostalgia and imagination. That's really what broke mainly everything. My way of thinking and their way of thinking just didn't match up. Didn't match up, We gotta move forward. We gotta move forward. And one really good motivation for me to move forward was my kids. That really motivated me, especially the fact that how my life was when I was a kid, how it started, the way everything went. So that was very important to me to be everything I could for my kids. And that's what made me start trying to change and be a better person for them. There's no higher purpose to be better than to create a new future and teach them to be better. How would you ever do that if you never move forward? So, oh snap. So it's very important. It was very important for me to not be my dad and not be absent or violent or any stupid way that the past was for me. It was time to be a man, a great man. Leave the past behind, not live in it, not be reminded of it. Unfortunately, I don't want to be reminded of it. I especially don't want to live in it. And I do have people. Like I said, I do care about them. I love them all. Family, friends, I love them all. I just can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I have no reason to deal with it. It's not gonna help me move forward in my life at all. But be there's a way I live. A very specific way I live is a race against time. That's first, and making the best of it. Making the best of it. And making the best of it is that I spend all my young life being a student in of life. I spend my whole young life being a student of life and learning from the people around me. The ones that really had things to teach. But even the people who had bad lives had something to teach because I would learn from their mistakes. And after that, after so being a student my whole young life, and then the important thing is once you have kids and you reach a certain point, then you become the master. Then you become the teacher. You become the one that teaches the best that you've learned. You teach so they won't make the mistakes. So they'll probably still make their mistakes, but you teach. That's the most important thing, is to teach them the way, basically. It's better to learn. Everybody's gonna have to learn from experience, but it's better to learn from the mistakes of others. Oh snap. So after being a student, you become the teacher. After you become the teacher, and after you're the teacher, it's very important to know the next step. After being the teacher, you gotta concentrate on yourself. The end of the journey, you were already the student and you learned from everybody. Then you were the master and teacher and you taught forward. At the end of the journey, it's all about ourselves. It's all about finding our final purpose and finding ourselves within ourselves. Oh snap. So the end of the journey, it's mainly the end of the journey is mainly a solo journey. A journey where you gotta come to terms with reality, your life, and everything. And up to now, that's what I believe, that the end of the journey is gonna be a solo moment where you gotta find yourself until that final moment. So, so let's see, what else am I missing? Don't live in the past. Even the fact that even if you had your golden times in the past, you have control of your life. You have control of your life and your circumstances. You could create a new golden era for yourself. So it all starts in the self. Leave the past behind. Was it fun? Did we enjoy it? A lot of parts, yes. Do we want to stay there? No, we do not want to stay there. I don't want to stay there. I want to visit it, remember, and have learned my lessons from it. I want to evolve, move forward. Not only in the fact from, even in gaming, from retro games, I want to move to next gen. I don't want to just stay in retro games forever and be like, I love the games that are coming out, new technology. I love it. And I do love old games and the past. I do. But they're the past. They're good to visit and enjoy, but they're the past. That's it. And movies. Movies is a perfect example as well. Like, yes, movies in the past were good, but it's time to move forward. I enjoyed the new Star Wars movies. I don't care how if the past is the past. This is the new era. I enjoyed the new RoboCop. I've always been a RoboCop fan more than a Terminator fan, period. And I enjoyed the new RoboCop moving forward. You know what? Are they supposed to just create the 80s movie again? Like, and what I notice is that people are completely stuck in every single way. In every single way, they're stuck in the past, or stuck in their problems, or stuck in their depth. You know, and they have no control. A lot of people, family, friends, and even no matter what age they're on, or it's like they're stuck. And I don't understand why they're stuck and they can't defeat their circumstances. Some of them don't even try. They just accept the negative. They just accept that, well, there's nothing I could do. Life is what it is, and I gotta accept it. No, you could make the best of your life. You have control. But it's so hard. It's so hard to get them to understand this. Dare to move forward. Dare to move forward. And enjoy every day. Enjoy every day as I can. And not reminisce about the past. Just concentrate on what's next at the moment. You know? I enjoy my gaming. My one habit that I can enjoy till this day that really is an escape for me from everything is gaming. And in gaming I practice my philosophy as well, which is time is always of the essence. We gotta keep moving forward. We don't stay playing one game forever, because then we end up how you end up playing the same game for 10 years. Then what? You spend 10 years doing no progress. So I follow that in every single way. I'm moving forward in technology, forward in time, forward in self progress, moving forward. And there's some people that I really gotta give credit that they found their path, you know. There's some like I have a friend called Nego. You know, he lives in Texas, and I feel like out of all my friends, he found his path. He's moving forward, he's making his way through life. Now, I'm not there to know if this is a fact, but that's the impression I get. And, but besides from him, everybody else seems to be stuck in life. My purpose is my kids, and my eldest son. My eldest son is 18. So I've been with my wife. I've been with my wife for 19 years. Oh snap, almost 20. So that's my purpose. That's my purpose. That's what matters. Oh snap. Oh hell no, that's not going well. That that's my purpose. That's what matters. That's what I gotta keep pushing forward. And I understand that this is not forever. I gotta enjoy the now. I can't live in the past, and I can't live in the future. I gotta live in the now. That's what's most important. Living in the now, making the most of it, sharing, especially in the 2020 in COVID, they needed me the most. Sharing experience. We play together. We play Fortnite. We play this game together. We play a lot together. We share things we like. I'm there to teach them. Oh, did I lose the damn battle? Damn it, that was a secret battle. So life is a big journey, and I believe life is a journey. It's an experience. We're here for the experience and learning. There will be something next. I've had at least two almost dead experience where I can say one thing we do learn in death is that the body and whatever we are two separate things. It really is. There's nothing that feels more fake when you're dying than your body. It's like it's not a part of you. And it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. But you do realize that your body is something, it's a vehicle. And my journey is just in the beginning. You know, my journey is in the beginning. I have really deep thoughts and I like to share those thoughts. And that's why I did this video. Because hopefully one day, hopefully this will stay in record and not be completely destroyed or deleted by YouTube one day. And maybe one day my kids will need this knowledge or this little pep talk or whatever in how my life experience was up till now. And everybody, the people that empower me right now, my wife and my kids, the journey, I gotta complete this moment, this path, so then I could continue. And I know to continue, I'm gonna be alone, and it's gonna be a self journey. And knowing me, I'm gonna push to self fulfillment, you know, one way or another. Everything is momentary and at the moment, and we enjoy it at the moment. It's just like happiness. Happiness and sadness. You can't have one without the other. But they're just moments. They're not. Nothing lasts forever. Happiness is not gonna last forever, but sadness is not gonna last forever either. It's moments, and life is compiled of a bunch of moments. And for all I know, my entire life is just a learning experience for whatever comes next. And it's kind of obvious that's what it is at this point, since we never stop learning. Every day seems to be a new lesson in the life, you know, and I might change. Let's see. Who knows what changed? Because it seems like every 10 years we shed our skin and we become somebody completely different from who we were. So who knows? I might think like this. Maybe I will look back to this video myself and be like, wow, it's incredible. But I do know one thing. Either if it doesn't matter if I'm in a penthouse, it doesn't matter if I'm in jail, it doesn't matter if I'm in another planet. The important thing is that I do realize that I will look back to this moment. I will look back to this moment and always remember this moment. For me right now, my golden age is now. This moment. Family, gaming, life is right in the middle. I'm 38. This is right in the middle for me, and I'm happy. That's the most important thing. I'm content. And that's a very scary notion, because you know that if you're content, there's only one thing that could happen, and it's going down. But we have control over that. At least I believe that I have control over that, and believing is half the battle. Let's see. No more drugs. Move forward. Keep moving forward. Concentrate on the job at hand. Concentrate on moving forward. Time is of the essence. Don't let people hold you back no matter how much you love them and care. Let's see. Even though people will try to help you, you have to want to be helped. Help yourself is the most important thing. Don't let the internet manipulate who you are. Don't let people influence you like it happened to me in 2012. Don't let people influence you into end of the world scenarios or influence you in bad ways. If it's affecting your life, if it's affecting your life and changing you, then you probably don't need it and it's gonna be bad for you. Especially if it's affecting you in a negative way. That's what I mean. Let's see. Don't live in the past, no matter how good it was. Do not live in the past. Visit it, fine. Live in it? No. Don't live in it. Remember right now you're the student, and the student shall become the master, and then end your journey by finding yourself. End your journey. Let's see. What else? Don't, you know, people will always want you to see the world how they see it. Find your own path. You know, there's many paths that have been created. Doesn't mean necessarily if you follow them you're gonna find the way to the same place. No, and I fell, you know. Find your own path. Find your own path. Very important to find your own path. Create your own way. Don't just be a follower. Don't just be a follower and follow blindly. And don't try to be a leader either, because concentrate on yourself. Concentrate on yourself. Being a leader is basically leading people. No, concentrate on yourself. Do your own thing. And those who will want to follow, they'll follow through your examples, not because you're making them or giving them orders or anything. What else? Control your thoughts, control the world around you. Find inner harmony. Oh snap. Watch out for pit holes. Is that a place I could go in here? Let's see, what else? Alright, I think that's it. Don't let fear or hate control your life. Don't let fear or hate dictate who you are. Things happen, you know, things happen. Nothing is permanent, not even life. Oh snap. Everything is just a passing moment. Everything is just a passing moment. There's always a way out. And sometimes we gotta find it. It won't just be there. One very important thing is don't be a fool. Don't give up. Life is completely worth living. And you gotta fight till the end. Because it is a fight. It's gonna be tough a lot of times. Give it your all, you know? Give it your all. It's totally worth it. There will be moments where you will be like, I'm so happy I'm here. Oh, snap. Ah, we gotta give it our all. Even if we know we're gonna fail at the end, we could at least end up saying, I gave it my all.